Okay, let's start making a weather forecast. One of the things you're going to learn about this week is actually putting it all together and making a weather forecast. So let's try it. Let's make a weather forecast. I'm going to do a pretty simplified one we'll take it Monday afternoon. So first you got to know what's going on. So what is going on in the weather? Well, one of the things I want you to notice is look at how few of observations there are over the water. One here, one down just here, another one back in here. Yeah, there's more close to land, but they really get far apart. So is this warm front really here? Or maybe it's up here somewhere. We don't know, but we make approximations. And the same would hold with this cold front here. Is this cold front really right here, or where is it between these two observation points? While over land, we got a lot more stations, so we can get a lot more detail. So, affecting Ohio's weather. Well, we have kind of a low up here in Canada right now. We have another low sitting right here over Illinois with a warm front up to Ohio. So, it's kind of mild right now, doesn't it? So, this is looking at the surface weather currently. Notice the moisture down here in the Gulf of Mexico. Dew points in the 70s down here, in the upper 50s here. So plenty of moisture coming up at the surface. But look at the cold air up here. Still 28 degrees up in Canada. 27 over here. So still plenty of cold air, unfortunately, up in Canada. So this is just first thing you've got to do if you're going to forecast the weather is know what is going on now. And then see if we can project it out into the future. So this is the upper level. Let's just take a look at 250 millibars right now. See all this big old jet up here in Canada? And up in here, very strong jet coming into the Pacific Northwest where that cold front was. Oh yeah, there's another one along the Gulf Coast down here. And there's a pretty good ridge, high pressure, aloft. So warmer, actually, at the thicknesses as you go down. And another low over the Maritimes in Canada, with a big high actually sitting to the northeast of that. So one of the questions again becomes, okay, now I know I have one jet here up and over Canada, I have another one down south, and I have a little bit of a low with a little bit of divergence probably over that area. So let's bring it down a little bit closer. Just look at temperatures at 850 millibars. 850 millibars is a great way to determine temperatures for the surface because you can take it down to the ground, dry adiabatically probably, and get an estimate of the maximum temperature that it's going to be. Here's plus 20 degrees Celsius over 20 down in this area, plus 21 degrees Celsius actually. And here's the 0 line Celsius. So somewhere over Ohio is about plus 12 right now. Notice the winds are all out of the south, so you're actually bringing warm air in. So we know for forecasting for Ohio today, anyways, we're bringing up moisture coming in off the Gulf, and we're bringing in warm air. How much moisture? Well, actually quite a lot. Look at it down here. 1.5 inches precipitable water down in this area, and upwards an inch in this area. This is all being pushed upwards towards Ohio right now. So at least initially in the forecast, I'm going to be wondering, well, how much of this moisture is getting northward into my area? So we want to look maybe at satellite to see what's going on a little bit. Just get an idea for what's happening overall in the pictures as we look out here in the future. So I'm just calling up a geocollar, very simple. Immediately, I see what looks like a combo head, low pressure out in this area. We did see that earlier. Looking at back in the surface map, we see probably a cold front coming in down through here in this part of the world. And you can just see moisture streaming north here. Oh yeah, there's some clouds and some moisture over the east coast, but you know, One of the things I'm noticing is, look at this dry air coming into this part of the world back here, across to Arkansas, Missouri. Ohio's right here. So my question immediately is, will this moisture that's down here be able to get up here, or will this dry air come in first, cut it off, so that you don't get that much precipitation? First thing I noticed, just looking at this right now. So moving on, how does this change? Well, this is a forecast, one model forecast, but we'll say it's fairly decent for Monday afternoon. What happened? Well, what happened is the southern jet stream kind of got merged further north across Ohio. The northern one got a lot weaker, but now there's big low pressure up here across the southern part of Canada and northern part of the United States. So there's colder air coming in here. And again, this ridge is still in place right here. You can actually see it going way up into here, north of this area. So it's almost like this is cut off from the main circulation, and there's some kind of a west, like a zonal flow down here now. But probably fairly cold temperature contrast along here. We're having, a decent jet right here. So let's look at the moisture. Well, lots of moisture, relative humidity-wise, up to the north here of the low. So there's probably a lot of clouds up here, but this is around it's actually about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So the most moisture here, the 90% RH, is in northern Ohio by then. So it probably had to come through during the morning hours or even earlier than that during the day. So, cloudiness might be getting a little less as the day wears on. And winds are out of the west, too, at this level. So you're bringing in probably a little chillier air with time. And here is your temperatures. And yes, you are. Here's the 0 degrees. It went from back up in here. Now it's almost into Illinois, Chicago area. And your temperature went from plus 12 to only plus 3 to plus 6. So see, that's 6 degrees Celsius colder. And you think about that, you take it down to the surface, you probably cooled off 10 to 15 degrees with that kind of a temperature change aloft. So now we've got some idea that it's getting colder. It's getting drier. You didn't get all the moisture that's coming up from Ohio. But you still have a lot of moisture and clouds, maybe in the northern part of Ohio. So this is just taking that and looking at it as an ensemble of models. 30 different models. Some of them have different initial conditions. Some of them have different physics that in it. You can see there's not a whole lot of problems here. Still shows kind of a high pressure up here at that level, and a little bit of a jet probably somewhere in here. So it really isn't showing. So this is a fairly consistent forecast for the model. Confidence would be high that your forecast is going to be pretty right. Now, if it was up in here, I might have a little difference of opinion. So this is the surface forecast. Well, the surface, wow. They had a little bit of moisture, a little bit of precip in the last 6 hours in the northern part of Ohio, but if you lived in southern, southwestern Ohio, not much. So you probably are having kind of a dry day at this time. Cold air is coming down. Matter of fact, there's a 1043 high up here. While it doesn't look it's going to come real far south, the northern part of Ohio might get into some of that. So I wanted to show you, we use different resolutions of models. That was a global model. This is a North American mesoscale model, much higher resolution, and it's kind of good to pick out some details with it. And in this case, I would again say, maybe even eastern part of Ohio isn't getting much of any precip. And the northwestern corner might be the main area that I would focus on. The low is a little more detailed. Temperature depiction's a lot more detailed as well. There's a little bit of a spike. It's a little bit warmer in southwestern Ohio than in northeastern Ohio. So you can actually pick out some details with that. And with that, you can actually look at what simulated reflectivity is. This is what the radar is going to look like. You can actually see snow back in this area. And here's the band of showers crossing Ohio at this time. So with that, let's take a look at temperature forecasting. This is a statistical forecast based on all these different models and using statistics to hopefully get the best correlation to give you the best temperatures. This is the maximum temperature in Ohio on Monday. Well, the yellows are 65 to 70, so we have some of that down here. The greens are 60 to 65, so you're in that range up here. Oh yeah, if you're over the lakes, look how much colder they are. And then you can see really some cold air up in here yet, still coming in northwest flow, coming down across your area. So all of this put into this national forecast map, that if I go to the home screen here, and we get it to come up here in a second, we'll give you a forecast for Ohio. That says at this time, day 3 forecast I want, but that would be for, you can see there's a cold front coming through Ohio, which is what we actually saw, some colder, and there's another cold front further north where that 0-degree isotherm was impacting, where the snow was. So you can actually see what we just made a forecast of looks pretty doggone good. And if you went to Ohio's forecast for this time, we could get it to come up quickly. We could see whether what actual offices are forecasting, and there's 2 of them. There's Wilmington, Ohio, for one, and there's another office at Cleveland, Ohio. But right now, anyways, everything's a little bit slow. So rather than look at all that, but just wanted to let you know this is what you're seeing, and this is how you make a forecast. Try to get the initial conditions, try to look at models, and then go from there. So I hope you got something out of this, and let me know if you have any questions.